All right, love hackers, you ready for this? We're going deep today into something that can be exciting and kind of nerve-wracking at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Definitely nerve-wracking.
That feeling you get when you think a female coworker might be into you.
Yeah, you're picking up on some signals, but is it just you or something really there?
That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Exactly.
So let's dive in. I'm Alex Carter,
And I'm Sophie Tanaka.
and you're listening to Love Hackers, your daily dose of dating advice.
That's right. We're here to give you the tools you need to decode those tricky signals, safely navigate the office environment.
And maybe even find love.
Who knows?
All right, so to kick things off, have you ever heard of something called vicinity attraction?
Vicinity attraction, it's actually a pretty fascinating concept, basically. It means that when people spend a lot of time together, like coworkers, do they naturally start to develop bonds?
Okay, so that makes sense. We're around these people all day, every day.
Exactly. Familiarity breeds attraction, as they say.
So that explains why you might start to feel something for a coworker.
Right, but how can we tell if it's actually happening or if it's just, the vicinity thing?
Exactly. We don't want to misread the situation.
Right, so there are a few key signs to look out for.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, let's talk about proximity. Does she always seem to be around you? Is she finding excuses to be in your space? Or are your interactions purely work-related?
Okay, so like if she's always at the coffee machine when you are.
Exactly. Or she always seems to end up sitting near you in meetings.
Okay, I see what you mean. So pay attention to those little things.
Now, another thing to look for is a mood boost. Does she light up when you enter the room? Does she seem genuinely happy to see you specifically?
Yeah, like you're the highlight of her day.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just being polite or friendly. There's a difference.
Right, it's that extra sparkle in her eye.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got proximity and mood boost. What's next?
Touch. But this one can be tricky to interpret because, we're in a professional setting.
Right, we don't want to misinterpret anything.
So is there a pattern of seemingly accidental touches that go beyond the usual professional norms?
Like a light brush on the arm or a playful tap on the shoulder.
Exactly. Things that linger just a little bit longer than necessary.
Okay, got it. Accidental touches that seem a little more intentional.
Right. And always remember context is everything a touch while laughing at a joke is different from a touch on the back that lasts a bit too long.
True, true. So you got to read the room.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talked about proximity, mood boost, and touch. What about compliments? Are those a good indicator?
Compliments can definitely be a sign, especially if they're frequent and directed at your personal qualities, not just your work.
So like, good job on that presentation. That's
Yeah.
standard coworker stuff.
Right, exactly. But if she's complimenting your sense of humor, your style, your taste in music,
Now we're talking.
that could be a sign that she's interested in you as more than just a colleague.
Okay, so we've got proximity, mood boost, touch, compliments. These are all great signs to watch for.
Absolutely. Keep those in mind.
But what if she's a little more subtle? Or maybe she's just shy?
Good point. Sometimes attraction is hidden either intentionally or unintentionally, and that's where the subtler hints come in.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
These are the signs that require a little more observation, maybe even a little testing, before you jump to any conclusions.
Okay, like what?
Have you ever heard of mirroring?
Mirroring.
Yeah, it's when someone subconsciously mimics your body language.
So like if I lean back, she leans back too.
Exactly. Or if you cross your arms, she does the same. It can be a sign of deep engagement and connection.
Wow, I never noticed that before.
It's subtle, but it can be a powerful indicator. Now, mirroring isn't always a romantic sign, but it's something to note.
Okay, so mirroring, subconscious mimicking. That's one to watch for. What else?
Another interesting hint is whether she avoids mentioning other men in conversation.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it could be a subtle way of signaling her availability, but remember, context is key.
Right, if she's constantly gushing about her new boyfriend, probably not a good sign.
Exactly. But if she's keeping mum on the relationship front, that could be a green light.
Okay, avoiding other men in conversation. Got it. What else?
This one might surprise you. Pay attention to the direction of her feet.
Her feet.
Yeah, believe it or not, the direction someone's feet point can be a subconscious indicator of interest.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
If her feet are pointed towards you, it suggests she's engaged and finds you interesting.
Wow, who knew feet could be so revealing?
Body language is fascinating.
It really is. Okay, so feet direction. Check one more subtle hint.
One more thing to watch for is if she frequently asks for your help, even with things she could probably handle herself.
Like the classic damsel in distress.
Exactly. It might be a subconscious way to create more opportunities for interaction with you.
Ah, so she's just trying to get my attention.
It could be that, or she might genuinely need help, so it's all about looking for a pattern.
Right, if she's always asking for your help with something that's a little suspicious.
Ex-
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. The obvious signs, the subtler hints, all really helpful stuff.
Absolutely.
But there's one situation that we need to address that requires a whole different set of guidelines.
Oh, yeah. This one is tricky.
When your coworker is married?
That's right. The stakes are higher, and the consequences can be much more serious.
Exactly. So how do we know if a married coworker's attention is harmless or something more?
That's what we'll dig into next.
All right, love hackers, stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick break. All right, so let's say you've been watching closely, you've seen the signs, and you're pretty sure this coworker is into you. She's checking all the boxes. Proximity compliments, maybe even a little mirroring.
Okay, so now what?
That's the big question, right? What do we do next?
Well, that's when you need to test the waters a bit. See if she's receptive to your attention.
But how do we do that without being too forward or making things awkward at work?
Right, subtlety is key here. You don't want to make a big scene.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do you suggest?
Start with increasing your eye contact. Hold her gaze for just a beat longer than usual and see if she smiles back or holds your gaze as well.
Okay, eye contact, got it. What's next?
Try engaging her in conversations outside of work-related topics, find common interests, ask about her hobbies, show genuine curiosity about her life outside the office.
So like, hey, I saw you reading that book about hiking the other day. Are you into the outdoors? Something like that.
Exactly. Something casual and friendly, and then pay close attention to her responses. Is she enthusiastic and engaged in the conversation, or is she giving you short, closed-off answers?
Okay, so if she's like, yeah, I like hiking, and that's probably not a good sign.
Right, but if she starts telling you all about her favorite trails and asking you if you hike too, then you know you're onto something.
Okay, I see. So look for that back and forth, that genuine interest.
Exactly. And if things are going well, you can escalate things a bit further. Try offering a sincere compliment about something non-work related, like her style or her sense of humor.
Ooh, getting a little flirty now.
Just a little, something like, I love your earrings, or you always tell the best jokes.
Okay, but I have to mean it right.
Absolutely. It has to be genuine, not creepy or forced. And again, gauge her reaction. Does she seem flattered and receptive to the compliment or uncomfortable?
Okay, got it. Read the room. Pay attention to the vibes.
Exactly.
All right, so let's say the vibes are good. The compliments are landing. You're feeling pretty confident. How do we transition from coworker chit-chat to an actual date?
That's when you need to make your intentions clear, but in a respectful and low-pressure way.
Okay, so no grand romantic gestures at the office holiday party.
Definitely not. Save that for the movie.
Noted. So what would a respectful approach look like?
A more casual, low-key suggestion is usually better.
Hmm?
Maybe suggest grabbing coffee or lunch together outside of work hours.
So like, hey, I'm grabbing coffee down the street after work. Want to join me?
Exactly. Nice and casual. That way you're giving her an easy out if she's not interested, but also creating an opportunity for something more if the spark is there.
Okay, I like it casual and low pressure, but still direct.
Right. You want to be clear about your intentions without making her feel pressured.
Got it. So we've learned how to read the signs, test the waters, and even make the first move. But what happens if things don't go as planned?
That's a good question. What if she's not interested or things get awkward?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we still have to work with this person.
Exactly. So no matter what happens, professionalism and respect are key.
Right, no sulking at your desks or spreading office gossip.
Definitely not. You want to maintain a positive work environment regardless of what happens.
Okay, so if she's not interested, accept her decision graciously and move on.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe down the road things will change, or maybe you'll meet someone even more amazing and you'll be grateful things didn't work out with this coworker.
That's a good point. Sometimes things happen for a reason.
Right. You never know what the future holds.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, reading signs, testing the waters, handling rejection gracefully. But there's one more piece of this puzzle we need to address.
Oh, yeah, this is important.
Setting boundaries.
Absolutely. Boundaries are crucial in any relationship, but especially in the workplace. Being clear about your expectations and limits can help prevent misunderstandings and protect both you and your coworker.
Okay, so how do we set boundaries in a way that's professional and respectful?
Communication is key. If you're feeling uncomfortable with a coworker's behavior, don't be afraid to address it directly.
So just be upfront about it.
You can say something like, I enjoy working with you, but I'd appreciate it if we could keep our interactions professional during work hours.
Okay, simple and to the point.
And if things escalate or become inappropriate, it's important to document those interactions and involve HR.
Right, because at that point, it's beyond just setting boundaries.
Exactly. Your safety and well-being are the top priority.
I think sometimes people hesitate to set boundaries because they're worried about damaging the relationship or creating awkwardness.
I understand that, but healthy boundaries are actually essential for building strong and respectful relationships.
Really?
They allow everyone to feel safe and comfortable, which is essential for a positive work environment.
That makes sense. So setting boundaries isn't about being rude or unfriendly.
Yeah.
It's about protecting yourself and ensuring that everyone feels respected.
Exactly. It's about creating a healthy and productive work environment for everyone.
Great advice. So as you navigate the world of office attraction, remember to communicate clearly, set healthy boundaries, and prioritize your own well-being.
And if you're ever unsure about a situation, trust your gut and don't hesitate to seek advice from a trusted friend or a professional.
That's great advice.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing your insights today.
of course, happy to help.
So we've talked about how to read the signs,
Yeah.
test the waters, set boundaries.
Yeah, all the important stuff.
But what if you've gone through all that and you're like, okay, I really do want to pursue something with this coworker?
Ah, that's the next level.
Right. It's one thing to figure out if she's interested, but actually acting on those feelings.
Especially in the workplace.
Yeah, there's a lot more at stake here than just, whether or not you go on a date.
Exactly.
So what do we need to consider?
Well, first and foremost, you need to think about your company's policies on workplace relationships.
Oh, right. Of course, some companies have very strict rules about that.
Exactly. Some are more lenient, but you definitely don't want to risk your job over a romance.
No, absolutely not. So how do we find out what the company policy is?
A good place to start is your employee handbook.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It usually outlines the company's stance on dating coworkers, and you can always check with HR if you're unsure or have specific questions.
Okay, so let's say you've checked the handbook and it's all clear you're allowed to date coworkers. What then?
Well, you don't want to make a big announcement, you know.
No company-wide email about your new crush.
Exactly. Discretion is key, especially in the early stages. Keep things under wraps until you're both sure you want to pursue something serious.
Right. Avoid gossiping with coworkers or, making your feelings public knowledge.
Exactly. The last thing you want is office gossip spreading like wildfire.
So how do you keep things private while also, exploring this potential relationship?
Focus on spending time together outside of work. Suggest casual outings like grabbing coffee, going for a walk, checking out a new restaurant.
So basically treat it like you would any other potential relationship.
Exactly, just with an extra layer of caution and privacy.
Got it. And if things progress and you decide to become a couple?
Then be prepared to be open and honest with your manager or HR.
Okay. Transparency is important.
Absolutely. It's key to maintaining professionalism and avoiding any potential conflicts of interest.
That makes sense. And this might be stating the obvious, but
Yeah.
no romantic interactions during work hours.
Yeah, keep it professional. No sneaking kisses in the supply closet.
Or writing love notes on company letterhead.
Save the romance for after hours.
Good advice. Keep your work life and your personal life separate.
Exactly.
This has been such a helpful deep dive. We've covered so much ground today, from deciphering those subtle signals to navigating company policies and maintaining professionalism.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is. But I think we've given our listeners all the tools they need to navigate this tricky situation.
I hope so. Remember, the workplace can be a great place to meet someone special, but it requires a lot of thoughtfulness, communication, and respect for boundaries.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. But before we go,
Don't forget.
make sure you subscribe to Love Hackers.
Yes.
For more daily dating advice, we're here to help you navigate all the complexities of love and relationships, whether they're at work or anywhere else. I'm Alex Carter.
And I'm Sophie Tanaka. Thanks for listening. Love Hackers, don't forget to like, comment, and share this episode with your friends. We'll see you next time.